Shalom, Ka'alo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakaha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity. And Shalom to the elect, the hopeful elect, and those Israelites who look like the other heathen nations amongst the heathen nations, pursuant to Jeremiah 12 and 9, who are the known as the speckled birds. Okay, this is not a black thing. We do not teach it's a black thing or skin color thing at all. If the Spirit beareth witness with our spirit, and that person could be an Israelite. Okay, so I'm disciple of Parium, a follower of Great Millstone, coming to you with another lesson in truth and sincerity. This lesson is going to be titled "A Public Spectacle, Ripe for the Harvest." And just wanted to say, fair use, fair use, fair use. 1973 Act. I'm not utilizing any of the images or videos for any monetary gains, simply just for edification. All right, and it's just putting the truth out there onto the flock. With that said, I'm going to read a couple quotes, one from Marcus Cicero and one from Kevin Alfred Strong, and then we'll go ahead and play the video and get into the lesson. So with that, this is a quote from Marcus Tullius Cicero. It says, "The evil was not in bread and circuses per se, but in the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men for full bellies and the excitement of games which would serve to distract them from the other human hungers, which bread and circuses can never appease." So, they're dangling something, oh, look over here. And then they're really doing something on the other end with, doing some dirt underneath, And at any point, you can see the correlation between Babylon or any culture, any ancient culture, to where they start intermixing government with bread and circuses. Then essentially you just start to see the full downfall of society. Okay, it's the same thing with ancient Rome that they were doing that in that day as well. And then, so this is a Kevin Alfred Strong quote underneath that says, "To learn who rules over you, simply find out who you are not able to criticize." And those are definitely the tiny tops. Okay, the banks, Hollywood, music industry, all that. Okay. Now, with that said, I'm gonna play this video from Bryce Mitchell, UFC fighter, who definitely was not invited to the UFC 250 over on the White House grounds. Okay, but he speaks some good truths there. And who knows, he could, he looks like Esau, but he could be an Israelite. But obviously, we as men in this truth, we don't say we when it comes to us and Babylon. That should not be in your vocabulary. But anyways, I'm gonna play this video. Hopefully it's edifying, and then we'll get into the scriptures.
Sean Strickland got banned from the White House for talking about Israel.
I'm not surprised at all. Freedom of speech is what really makes this country great. And when you can't criticize a foreign nation, come on, man. We ought to be able to criticize our own nation, let alone a foreign nation. In fact, that's the only nation you're not allowed to criticize. Woo. Something's going to change, because evil empires don't last forever. There's always a rebellion.
What are your thoughts on the UFC White House, just in general? Like,
I do want to be on the card.
You do want to be on the card?
I do. And this is what I got to say. First off, I ain't jealous of any of those fighters. I'm so happy for those fighters. If they need me to fill in, if I'm healthy, hey, I'll do it. For the UFC, I think it's great. It's beyond great. It's literally the perfect scenario. But what I think personally is that our government is desecrating its role in society by entertaining sports. Our government is to protect and serve the people, and really should be as minimal as possible. When you're doing all of this stuff, hosting sporting events, it's really outside of what the goal of the government was intended to be, because our tax dollars and resources are funding this operation. And like I said, I'm not criticizing the UFC. I love Dana, I love Hunter, I love Sean, Mick, I love all of them. But the government should never be hosting sporting events, because there's more room for corruption, and we already have a corrupted government.
Damn.
The government is supposed to protect us, not entertain us.
Did you see that Sean Strickland got banned from the White House for talking about Israel?
I'm not surprised at
So yeah, there you go. You know, he spoke a lot of truth. Obviously, you know, he didn't really speak a whole bunch when it comes to the scriptures.
freedom of speech is
Slacking. But, you know, nonetheless, it was very, you know, edifying and very educational. So with that, let's go into Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And you feel that sentiment today. You see it. You know, definitely feel it, especially at work. You know, and you just have to be, you know, very wise as a serpent. You know, and let's look at that real quick. Let's see. Man. Well, he's supposed to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. That's what it was. So, yeah. And let's go to Mark 3:23-27. We'll read this in the NLT, okay? It says, Yahweh Shai called them over and responded with an illustration. This is, you know, speaking to the Pharisees in regards to, I believe they were... had to deal with taking out the spirit from the man. It says, how can Satan cast out Satan? He asked. All right, and you know, obviously we know that Satan, you know, is an angel on the left-hand side, but this is speaking of the man who's akin unto the likeness of Satan, the spiritual demon Satan. All right, and that's Esau, right? So it says, how can Satan cast out Satan? He asks. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive. Let me illustrate this further. Who is powerful enough to enter the house of a strong man and plunder his goods? Only someone even stronger, right? And that's what Esau has done, right? He's come in because he was given the blessing, you know, with a sword, right? But now his house is being plundered, you know, daily. We're seeing it, and you know these curses that we have as a people, as a nation, is going upon them right now, right? So only someone even stronger, says someone who could tie him up and then plunder his house, all right? And in the end, you know, the Most High and His Son Yasharallah, so like Yahweh Shai, he's gonna take that house, all right? So this is Isaiah 47, 1 through 9 NLT. It says, come down, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? And sit in the dust, all right? And that's speaking of here, all right? Because we know that modern day Babylon still exists, all right? It's there, nobody lives there, right? Over in Iraq. It says, for your days of sitting on a throne have ended, O daughter of Babylon. Never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. Take a heavy millstone and grind flour. Remove your veil and strip off your robe. Expose yourself to public view. You will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity. Our Redeemer, whose name is the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies, is the Holy One of Yasharallah of Israel. O beautiful Babylon, sit now in darkness and silence. It says, never again will you be known as the Queen of Kingdoms. All right? For I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. But you, Babylon, showed them no mercy. You opposed even the elderly. You said, I will reign forever as a queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences. Listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom. All right? It says, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. Well, both of these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood and the loss of your children, Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all of your witchcraft and magic. All right, and so them trying to do these things with AI, transhumanism. They're going to try essentially to make themselves look as God, sitting in the throne of God, like it says in 2 Thessalonians 2, right? I think 2 and 4. But they're going to try to do these miracles and be like, oh, look how great this is. And I'm not going to fall for that, all right? And you shouldn't. This is Joel 3 and 13. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow. It says, for their wickedness is great. Okay? So, this obviously this is speaking of during the Valley of Decisions in Jehoshaphat, but, the Lord is going to come to collect. Right? And this place's sins have been stacked up, and they're getting stacked up to the heavens. Right? And it's at to fall so bad, just as Egypt has fell, but this will be way worse. All right? That's how it has to be. As it was in the days of old, so shall it be. All right? 1 Corinthians 4:9 says, for I think that power has set forth us as the apostles, right, going to public spectacle. Like they're being made a public spectacle, but yet every time we go out and preach and we go out and do these lessons, we're made a public spectacle for Yahweh's sake, right? For Yahweh's sake, and good, all right. So it says, for I think that power have set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to the angels, and to men. So, call all Yahweh Shem Rashai, you're seeing these things happen, right? And yeah, that was all bread and circuses, man. That was ridiculous. And I didn't even watch it. You can watch a couple highlights here and there, but nah, man. The dross, the dregs of this place is it's being sifted down, and it's not what it is, what it used to be, but that's what I was prophesied to be. So with that said, Kwam Yasharallah, Ababa Ba, Shalom, and on to the next.